Councilman? No. Okay.
Okay, so there is no motion, we're moving on to item number 5, presentation. There's no action to this item.
Yeah, but there was no motions about it, guys, so like the motion, Mayor, the next item, as I understand it, in terms of the leasing, is going to be number 5.
5. Presentations. Item number 5, presentation by City Manager regarding July 2022 monthly report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am here to give you the highlights for July 2022. Our Municipal Courts Department in July collected $52,631, received 203 citations from Socorro PD, 12 citations from Department of Public Safety, 75 animal control, and 62 ordinance violations. Our Human Resources Department did not have a civil service due to lack of quorum. We had 5 separations from Public Works and 1 from PD. 3 new hires, Deputy Chief Jason Stanzioni, Laborer Pedro Cruz, and Animal Control Officer Adam Nevarez. Our Parks and Public Works Department assisted with the 4th of July and Mornings of Blue Stars. They did the Gem Valley Pond Sinkhole Project, continued work on the Onionville culverts for monsoon season, repaired sinkhole at Denny Rossi, and continued with a systematic approach for weed control and maintenance for all parks. The Police Department received 2,115 calls for service, made 121 arrests, issued 232 citations. They completed the Citizens Academy on July 13. Officers continue to attend training to keep them in compliance with certification TIPO requirements. Our City Clerk Department prepared agenda and minutes for meetings scheduled for July 7th, 16th, and 21st. Received 29 open records requests, responded to 32. Prepared 7 publications, had a bid opening on July 25th regarding the Bogey Vista Bridge expansion. Our Planning and Zoning Department collected $101,000, $324, issued 340 permits, 22 registration, 13 applications, and 89 letters. Code enforcement issued out 86 notice of violations, 123 clear cases, issued 40 citations. Our animal control received 178 calls for service, 5 impounds, and 12 citations were issued. Our recreations department had the 4th of July event, which was a huge success. Had the dance camp from July 18th through 22nd. Movies Under the Stars concluded on July 26th, showing Bad Guys. Hosted a social media training on July 20th. Issued 880 senior meals were delivered, 48 welfare calls, and HLC meeting on July 13th. Had 1 presentation, 3 approved items, and 1 item was tabled. They kept up with all social media platforms, media inquiries, and press releases. Our IT department assisted with all city council and commissions meetings and troubleshooted all IT-related issues. Our grants department's highlights was prepared quarterly federal financial reports for federally funded active grants, including the West Texas HIDA program, COPS hiring program, and COPS crisis intervention team, among others. Requested reimbursement for federally funded active grants totaling $92,899 in reimbursement, including $2,709 for the crisis intervention team, or $60,190. Our COPS hiring program, and $30,000 for the Texas Preservation Trust Fund for the Vista project, among others. The CARES Act responded to El Paso County's request for information regarding the city's CARES Act reimbursement number 3, 4, and 5. Our nonprofit completed onboarding of our new executive director on July 25th and coordinated board of directors meeting on August 3rd. Economic Recovery coordinated small business support meeting on July 11th. At 3 Missions BLURRY, assisted 9 small businesses via financial assistance through the ESBRA program in July of 2022. For transportation, received $535,000 in total reimbursements from TEXA for Arterial 1, 1682 Boulevard, invoices during the month of July 2022. This concludes the highlights for the departments for the month of July. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia. Rudy Cruz.
Yes.
Any Gutierrez?
Yes.
Moving on to regular agenda, public hearing and ordinances. Item number 9, first public hearing on City of Socorro's property tax rate. Public hearing is now open at 7:18 p.m.
You did. Okay.
As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 7:19 p.m. Item number 10, public hearing of an ordinance to allow the rezoning of Robert E. Nick survey number 303, City of Socorro, Texas, from unclassified to icy mud industrial commercial mixed use district. Public hearing is now open at 7:19 p.m. As there are no speakers, would you like to speak, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 7:20 p.m. Item number 11, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to allow the rezoning of Robert E. Nick survey number 303, City of Socorro, Texas, from unclassified to icy mud industrial commercial mixed use district.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Hernandez. And he stepped out to his office.
Council, good evening. Carlos Gaetano with Planning and Zoning. So this is an item that you all may remember about a month ago. We had brought you the larger parcels that are part of the Robert E. Nick subdivision. At that time, we brought you 302 and 304. And so this is 303. And if we go through the presentation, a lot of this will sound familiar. Next slide, please. So again, this is a rezoning request for the Robert E. Nick survey number 3. It's about 15 acres. It is unclassified. There's no address. It's off of I-10. The future land use map causes as light industrial. Land use is vacant. The proposed land use is for warehousing / logistics. And then, as I've mentioned, the P&Z approved the larger parcel on July 18th. And City Council on July 21st, 2022, and Planning and Zoning is recommending approval, and so is the P&Z Commission. They voted to approve on Tuesday. Here's the location map. So again, the location map will just show a smaller parcel. We've already approved the larger parcels. Here's the zoning map. So the larger parcels have been rezoned to IC and D. The smaller parcel is still unclassified to be rezoned to IC and DD. Here are the property pictures. Here's the aerial image. Next slide, please. And just another view of the larger aerial image. Here is the public notice. That's for state code. We did notify once again for this parcel of property within 200 feet of the property, and we have received no responses. Here's the site plan once again. So again, you're just focusing on that area in blue. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions. Again, staff is recommending approval, P&Z is recommending approval, and the request is to rezone from unclassified to IC.
Questions?
Ruben Reyes,
Yes.
Cesar Nevares is absent, Alejandro Garcia,
Aye.
Rudy Cruz,
Yes.
and Iván Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 12, public hearing of an ordinance to amend Chapter 8 Businesses, Article 2, Vendors and Solicitors, Division 4, Mobile Vendors when required in the City of Socorro Municipal Code. Public hearing is now open at 7:23 p.m. As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 7:24 p.m. Item 13, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 8 Businesses, Article 2, Vendors and Solicitors, Division 4, Mobile Vendors when required in the City of Socorro Municipal Code.
Mayor and Council, once again, Carlos Gaynor, County and Zoning. So this is an item that you all had asked us to review back in late May, early June, and so this is the item that's in front of you. It is the amendment to essentially what we know as the mobile vendors ordinance. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I do want to point out the sort of the larger issues that we have looked at amending with the ordinance. So the next slide, please. We added a series of definitions, again, just everything from classifying merchandise to mobile businesses to mobile food vendor. And then I did want to point out that we do have now a type A mobile vendor and a type B mobile vendor. Essentially, the type A is what you would consider an ice cream truck. And so, whether you believe it or not, in the City of Socorro, according to the code, as is currently written, ice cream trucks are not allowed within the city. This changes it. Again, you now have a classification to allow ice cream trucks to be on the public right of way. And then the type B is a typical mobile vendor, which means a mobile vendor that sells goods or services from a custom constructed vehicle, cart, or other movable equipment on property outside of the public right of way. So again, that is what we know as a mobile vendor. And then, so we added two definitions. That's the first part. The second part, we added a permitting process. And so the section 8116 just states that you do need a permit if you want to operate a mobile vendor within the city limits of Socorro. And then section 8117 walks you through what that permit application and fee is. Again, you need to come to our B&Z office, application, show your business registration, food handlers. If it's a mobile food vendor, you need a food handler's certification from the Pasco County Health District. And so that also clarifies that as part of the ordinance. The next slide shows the if you are a mobile vendor wanting to operate in someone else's property, you are required to bring proof that that individual has letting you to set up shop in that property. So that is that is section I, and again, permission when it went on someone else's property. The next slide, which I think is one of the items that the Mayor and Council had asked us to look at. And so currently, the way that the code is written, you are only allowed one mobile vending unit per tract, parcel, or platted lot. And so what we have done is to try to be a little bit more flexible. We have increased that from 1 to 3. And so the code now would read no more than 3 mobile vending units per individual tract, parcel, or platted lot shall be allowed. And then the second part, speaking with our code enforcement team, they did want us to have a threshold in terms of the size, right? So if you are going to put vending units, it should be more than one vending unit. It should be a minimum of 5,000 square feet property. And then the second part of this says that you can, if you wanted to, have more than 3, right? So if you approve this, the code would allow 3 by right. You come in, you pay your application. The second part, what this says is that if you want more than 3, you can come to city council and petition for more. You would have to show a site plan, show the location of the mobile vending units and parking and other areas within that parcel of land. And then the final one is, there's currently an outdoor seating, music, and other noise ordinance on here. We are just adding that last sentence to this section, which is outdoor seating shall not be allowed in any public right-of-way or private driveway. And so again, you have to contain everything within your parcel of land, so you have, if you wanted to set up tables and chairs, you can't do it out on the street. It has to be all within your property. And that is essentially what is in front of you, Mayor and Council. Again, this is an item that you have asked us to look at, and happy to answer any questions.
Mayor?
Trustee Ramos?
Mr. Medina, thank you. I noticed that on the very first slide, it said at the end hot dog stand, I believe, or hot dog cart. Does that mean that they have to sell just hot dogs, or that's what you normally call one of those individual push little carts?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll read that section to you again in what the code, what the definition says is as an example. So it's as an example of this type of vendor would be food truck or hot dog cart. It doesn't just limit it to those 2 uses. It would be, again, what we typically would know as any sort of mobile vendor. So yes, ma'am, it's not just those 2 things.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Mayor, I have a question, sorry.
Mr. Cruz?
Mr. Guerra, section C for the type B mobile vending, when they're wanting to vend or become a vendor on someone else's property, I feel that the city should provide a document on behalf of the city or a template, or at least provide the template, because who's to say that I don't bring you a false document stating that I do have information on an empty vacant lot that is, commercial use, or it's designated as such under these guidelines here. Who's to say I don't provide a false document? And then we get in trouble with the actual owner later on once they find out that there is somebody selling on their property. At the same time, I understand that there's been hours of operation here for the food vendors to operate, but I'm going to be realistic with you. Our code enforcement officers do not operate within those hours. I've seen it time and time again. I don't believe that it's fair to the local businesses, restaurants, or vendors here within our city who pay rent, pay employees, pay utilities to operate their restaurant here, just to see a car pull up at any vacant parking lot and sell their items. There needs to be some type of schedule, code enforcement that happens within the hours that we don't normally operate. Maybe weekends and maybe after hours with that, because we do see it, we pass it, and we can't turn a blind eye.
Yes, sir. So on the first part, Mr. Cruz, the way that the code is written, it says an affidavit statement, right? And so that's number one. But if you like, maybe we could draft as part of the application that it is a form that it also has to be signed to an affidavit. But I'm not 100% sure that it alleviates your concern that it could be a fake document or someone could forge the signature. But happy to look at the possibility of having as part of the permitting application process, right? That we kind of already have one when it comes to like zoning verification, right? It's a template. We plug in the block and lot and the address, and then we sign it and the owner signs it. So that's something that we can look at. So I think it's a great point. It's easy for us to look at in terms of the application.
So just as long as it's a formal document where we can actually prove the owner is providing the signing off on it.
Yes, sir. And then on number 2, I'm going to defer to Mr. Lefty. I mean, I think that's a programming, scheduling, staff issue.
So we do have code enforcement that does go out there and do enforce in odd hours of the month, right? So they do sometimes schedule themselves to be out there at night and off hours, and there's multiple citations that are given out. They don't do it every weekend because people catch on, but they do do it a couple of times during the month.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve? Second.
Reyes? Cesar Nevares?
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia?
Aye.
Rudy Cruz?
Yes.
And Iván Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
moving on